Hi friends, so recently the Sundance event X Chicago was held here in Chicago, of course. This was the first time that anything Sundance has done outside of Park City, so it was kind of cool that it was here in Chicago. During this event that they had here, it was from June 28th to the 30th. What they did was they screened some movies, they had some panels and then some master classes for anyone to attend. What was kind of cool was we were invited to the kickoff ceremony. So at there, some of the actors were there, directors, festival programmers. So we were able to talk to Dawn Porter at the event, ask her questions about Luther Never Too Much, which was the documentary she directed. We also talked to Eugene Hernandez, who was the festival director and the head of programming for Sundance. So we asked them questions about the event coming here to Chicago. One of the two of the screenings that we did attend were A Different Man and Your Monster. At these screenings, some of the cast was there. That sounds right, cast was there. And we were able to talk to them, ask them some questions about the movies and about their time here in Chicago. Two things that I'm kind of upset about that's on me is I didn't ask the star and producer of A Different Man the same question that I asked everybody else about Chicago. But also when I interviewed two of the castmates, I want to say members, two of the castmates from Your Monster, I had my camera vertical instead of horizontal. But that's on me. Watch the interviews, let me know what you think in the comments as always, and then thank you, for supporting us, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Native Americans representing over 100.
Real living proof that we are the greatest city in the world. And this partnership will not only feature screenings from annual Sundance film festivals to Chicago, but it will also feature artist programs, workshops, and more importantly, the opportunity to highlight Chicago's cultural scene and our status as a diverse and innovative filmmaking hub. It's not undermining the importance and our pride in this city's local festivals, but it is because of the success and scope of these festivals that is what ultimately attracted Sundance to Chicago. So let's give it up to all the local festivals and film festivals.
Hey friends, so we are here at Sundance Institute. I am with the director of Luther Never Too Much. Thank you very much for your time today. I know when you've done the John Lewis Good Tribute, Good Trouble. What was it about Luther's story that you thought this needs to be made into a movie and more people need to know about him?
I was just shocked that there was not a documentary about Luther Vandross, one of the seminal vocalists, in history. Sony, we did the film in conjunction with Sony Music. And one huge thing was that they made the music available. So we have the songs get to kind of play out. It's almost like a concert movie in some ways. But there's so much to Luther's story that even his super fans may not know. So my favorite thing for this movie is to watch the first half hour with people and have people who think they know go like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I do, like you mentioned, I did John Lewis. I've done films about Bobby Kennedy, Supreme Court. So I do a lot of political films and films about civil rights. So this film is full of joy. It was kind of what I needed at this time. We're all dealing with so much and so worried about democracy and the future of our country. And Luther reminds us that we have more in common than we do differences. So.
You kind of brought it up too right now. When you're doing something like this, obviously you're looking at tons of footage.
Yeah.
So like you said, there's super fans. I think they know everything. So while making this, was there ever, what was that one thing that popped up that you're like, I never knew this about him?
There are so many. Luther being on the first episodes of Sesame Street, footage of Luther in David Bowie's studio, and David Bowie being one of the first people to push Luther out. Luther singing jingles. I mean, there's so many things that when you see them, you realize that is Luther, and I didn't know that. So, for example, he's on the first Chic albums, Nile Rodgers, every album, every song.
Okay.
Sister Sledge, every song. So, there's Luther had really, his vocals, his arranging, his musical genius had a lot of influence in a lot of areas that I think are not quite like they are familiar with the songs, but they didn't know that he's also behind them.
Awesome. I know you're probably getting this question a lot, like what is your favorite Luther song? But I want to know, like, what's the one song that you love that not many people know?
Yeah. I don't know if it's not that many people know it, but Any Love really became one of my favorite songs now. And when you see the movie, you'll see why. Luther describes it in a very personal way. And hearing him talk about what that song meant to him really kind of made it also mean something to me. So no spoiler alerts. You got to see the movie.
Thank you very much for your time. I will say that I wrote it down because I wrote, how many times can we say goodbye? By Dionne Warwick, with Dionne Warwick. Because for me, that to me is kind of like a continuation of Gladys Knight's Neither One of Us. And so, I mean, that's just like one of my favorites. And it's like one of those cuts that it's like in the album, but not many people, nowadays, everyone just listens to the singles.
Well, I will tell your audience that very soon we have a very exciting announcement about our theatrical run. And so if you want to see all these songs, please come see Luther Never Too Much in theaters this fall.
Thank you very much for your downtime. Have a great festival. Bye. Okay, friends, real quick, with Don Porter, since we're here in Chicago, what is the one movie that you love, or what's your favorite movie that's either based or filmed in Chicago?
I don't know if it's a movie, but I'm pretty obsessed with The Bear. I mean, like it's hard not to be obsessed with The Bear.
Yes.
But like the food, I also love Chicago's architecture and art. So I don't know if it's a movie, but like this is truly such a beautiful place. And every time I come here, I'm just like bowled over, and I've forgotten how gorgeous it is. So kudos to Chicago.
Thank you again. Hey friends, so we are here at the Sundance Institute in Chicago. I am here with Eugene Hernandez. I'm sorry, it's been a day, but we've just went through the opening of what's going to happen here. This is going to be an awesome event here in Chicago. So I know this was talked about already before, but why Chicago out of all cities? Do you want to do this here?
Well, I think for us, it's really, Victor, it's really about the opportunity to connect with a community that's such a great history and legacy of storytelling, of creativity, of the arts, of filmmaking in this city, in Chicago. And so for us to have the opportunity to be invited in for this weekend, to be able to share some of what we do, and also to connect with artists, people like yourself in the community, with other cultural leaders, it's just such a perfect moment for us because we are an organization that's dispersed around the country. We have colleagues that live in 26 different states in the country, and this is an important community for us. And so that's really, I think when the folks here in the city reached out to us, it just made so much sense.
Looking at the lineup for the movies, it's a lot of diversity, which is awesome. How important is it to have all these different voices represented in your festivals?
Well, I think for us, I was talking about this at the event this morning. We had 17,000 submissions to our festival this past year. And as we were thinking about what movies we could bring to Chicago and to have their Midwest premiere, we really did think about that diversity, that inclusiveness that is at the heart of what we do at Sundance. So we really, when we were picking the 4 films that we would show, we really wanted to think about how we could represent that, how we could showcase that. So between Luther and Your Monster and A Different Man and Sugarcane, I think we really have films that represent so much of that diversity of storytelling, freedom of expression that you see in filmmaking right now.
Being that you're in Chicago, what is the one film, either filmed here or based from Chicago, that's your favorite?
Well, I'm going to go with a recent one that we had at the festival, because there's so many. I mean, I could certainly talk about Hoop Dreams, which is a really important documentary to me, a landmark film. But there was a film at the festival this year called Ghost Light, which is such a special film to me is made by independent filmmakers who are based here. And Alex Thompson and Kelly O'Sullivan, who made this movie, are independent filmmakers who tapped into their relationships with the theater community here. And so it's a recent favorite because it's a film that's available right now for audiences to go see. And it's in theaters right at this minute. So I'm just so excited for them, for that film to have premiered at Sundance, and for us to have the opportunity to be in a city where it was made. And I'm going to see them this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. So that's a plug for a movie that I think families would really connect with, because it is about a family going through a crisis, going through dealing with healing, and the arts and community help them navigate some of the challenges and bring them closer together.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for bringing us here to Chicago. Hopefully next year too, but we'll see. But have a great festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey friends, we are here after the Different Man screening, and I'm here with Adam Pearson and Gabrielle Mayers. I'm sorry. And just two quick questions for the movie. I know you kind of went over this with the Q&A afterwards, but what was the entire process of once you got the script to getting this to film? Like how daunting was that?
So we had to. Adam was always involved as Oswald, but we had to find an Edward, and that took maybe like 10 months or so to find an actor who would say yes to doing the role. It was very complicated, and obviously people were worried that they were going to be perceived in a different light. But it took a long time to find that person until we found Sebastian. And even then, I think he got the script from. He wasn't even supposed to get the script. Somebody he found it himself.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as he found the script, and Aaron said absolutely. He found Renata, and then we bullied our two financiers into getting to a bidding war, and then we were off to the races after that.
Awesome. And then Adam, for you, I know you kind of said this also too in the Q&A, but this is a movie kind of like the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
So for the audience that when they see this, what do you expect them to come out from watching this movie?
Oh, I don't know, because it's so deep and so rich. There's so many kind of story threads and sort of things in there. I think everyone's going to come away with it with something different. And to me, as long as people go see it and kind of get something from it, then we've all done our jobs kind of perfectly. As long as people are talking, then I'm happy. To quote the legend that is John Cena, if they're cheering or booing, rock and roll, utter silence would be the failure.
Thank you very much. And then real quick question. I know you're a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
What would be your song to come out to?
I did try and get Cult of Personality played as I walked on stage tonight, because we're in Chicago, and it seemed like the right place to do it. I would probably come on to Bangarang by Skrillex. I think that would be kind of a real kind of because it's got like a big drop where the pyro can go up and you can just appear on stage out of Cody Rhodes.
Okay, I'm thinking like jumping out from the floor like Rey Mysterio,
Yeah,
but that is even better.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, thank you all for your time, friends. A Different Man comes out about September 20th. September 20th on 8/24. Thank you guys very much for your time.
No problem.
Hey friends, we are here after the Your Monster screening. I'm here with Tommy Dewey. Quick question: since you're here in Chicago, what is your favorite movie that has been filmed or is based in Chicago?
Oh no, that's gonna be so hard. You've put me on the spot. I mean, I know there's great movies in Chicago.
Blues Brothers, Home Alone, The Fugitive.
Well, because we were talking about the Dying the River earlier today. It probably, in terms of the movie I've revisited the most, it would be The Fugitive. Yeah,
Awesome.
I love Home Alone, obviously a classic, but I probably watch The Fugitive once a year. Yeah.
All right, and then last question: what would Stu Pickles think about the monster?
Oh man, he would love the inventiveness of the monster, right? Stu's a tinkerer. If you see this movie, Monster, I don't want to spoil too much, but has a room that's kind of his exclusively, and I think Stu and he would sync up on the level of tinkering, inventing, that kind of thing.
Thank you very much. The movie's amazing. Friends, when your monster comes out, definitely go check it out. Thank you very much, Tom.
Thanks, man. Good to see you again.
Hey, friends, I'm here with Edmund Donovan from Your Monster Screening. And Edmund, I have just two quick questions for you. Since you're here in Chicago, what is your favorite movie that's either been filmed or is based in Chicago?
Sorry, my favorite movie?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so funny because I've never really been. I've been here once before, like 10 years ago, and being back, I'm reminded mostly of movies because I have so little actual lived experience here. I think the Batman trilogy. Well, I guess all of Gotham and all three of Christopher Nolan's Batmans are here, and then The Fugitive. Yeah.
The Fugitive is a great
Yeah, man. I was walking over the river earlier today, and I was like, it looks green, like on St. Patrick's Day in the movie, and Harrison Ford's on the run.
Nice. And then my last question to you is, I know your character is interesting, I wouldn't say, but what was like, I guess, your process to getting into that mindset for your character? I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah, I mean, I think without giving too much away, I can say that he's kind of an antagonist in the movie, and I think with any antagonist or villain, it's important that the actor humanizes them and thinks about their rationale and why they're making the choices in their life that they are. I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't just a sort of mustache twirling asshole.
Right.
So I had to sort of justify his decisions and get behind him and love him, and not hate him. Now I can hate him now that the movie's out and I watch it, with all of you, and I'm like,
Well, thank you very much, friends. When Your Monster comes out, definitely go check it out. It's an amazing movie. Thank you very much for your time.
yeah, thank you.
Hey, friends. So we are here after the screening of Your Monster. I'm here with the star, Melissa Barrera. Since you are here in Chicago, my question for you is, what is your favorite movie that is either filmed or based in Chicago, or even television show that's from Chicago?
My best friend's wedding, I guess. I feel like I don't know what other movies are specifically based in Chicago. Home Alone,
That's a good one.
also a good one. And I think all the Power shows are shot here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's cool. I want to work here, so.
Well, hopefully there's going to do the third season of The Bear. So.
Oh, I love The Bear.
Yeah. The Bear's
That's here. That's right. Yeah, I like that too. Yeah.
And then another question for you is, really quick. The movie has a great message about channeling your fear, your rage.
Mhm.
For young girls that are going to watch this movie, why would you think it's important for them to understand that it's okay to speak out?
I think this is just like a cathartic movie of a situation that a lot of us, and not just women, I think in general people can find themselves in, of making themselves feel small and having to like keep everything in to appease or to not make people uncomfortable. And so this is a movie that gives you permission to be loud and to be messy and to let your monster out. And so I think that it's great. And so I hope that when people watch it, they feel that catharsis and they feel seen.
Thank you very much for your time, friends. When Your Monster comes out, definitely go check it out. Again, Melissa Burr, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.